So the Vietnam Bamboo Project came about partly because of the lineage in our School of Learning by Making projects, where we actually think through building and building 1:1 scale buildings. And in 2015 we were asked to work with Sydney-based architects Cave Urban to build a bamboo structure for Dark Mofo. And then we applied for some new Colombo Plan funding to go to Vietnam, and there was a perfect connection between bamboo and Vietnam. And then as we were developing the project, we heard that Dr. Rowan Smith from the Tasmanian Institute of Agriculture was already working in Vietnam on a range of agriculture projects. So that became the perfect connector to pull the whole team together, which also led to the development of this new term of agritecture, where architecture and agriculture meet.
So I saw a newsletter item, I think it was, saying that the School of Architecture was going to Vietnam, and having spent a lot of time in Vietnam and having a couple of projects in Vietnam over our time, we've had a fair bit of experience in Vietnam. I just thought that, you know, there might be some logistical things that we could help with, or you know, some small tips and stuff that we could give them before they go on their trip, just to kind of help out.
So the interesting thing about meeting Rowan is that we had a lot of connections lined up and a lot of things that we wanted to do, and we were very keen that it involved actually building a project. And we were having a bit of difficulty trying to work out what we might build and where we might build. So then in working with Rowan, and because being an agricultural scientist is so practical, the idea came to us that what we could do is build a prototype for a cowshed. So therefore we had the perfect culmination for a 4-week trip, which is that we actually ended with 4 days in Tay Giang, the community that Rowan is working with Hue University. So the whole way through the journey, we were constantly gathering other groups of people and building conversations. And interestingly, bamboo is not a material that is actually explored in universities in Vietnam at the moment. So all of the Vietnamese universities were really interested in the fact that we were introducing this into the architecture curriculum. So everyone that we met were really keen to join us. So when we got to Tay Giang, we were hoping there'd be some bamboo. We'd been asking for months. And so on the first afternoon, we ended up going out into a field and harvesting the bamboo in a great big thunderstorm with some of the local farmers, and then carrying the bamboo through a wet and muddy field up to the road.
The students had come up with a design and that included, you know, all the materials down to the lengths of bamboo and everything that they needed. So they started to mark that out on the ground and cut everything to length and pretty much put it together as a bit of a flat pack.
So amazingly, in 3 days they were able to build a prototype, and one of the reasons they could build it is that we'd already had these fantastic workshops with bamboo masters and scout masters who taught us how to tie knots, bamboo masters who taught us how to drill and to make dowels. So there'd been a whole skill building across 4 weeks, and the 13 of them worked as an incredible team.
Where the shelter is built, it's in front of the commune office, so there's smallholder farmers coming and going, or commune officials coming and going. We had our extension officer from the commune with us along the way as well, so he was sort of giving us feedback a little bit on the design, but he can also see now, you know, the way it was constructed and some of those techniques that could be passed on to smallholder farmers. One of the key benefits for us is that we've been able to get some drawings done up of, you know, a best practice cattle shelter that we can then use in some of our fact sheets and extension material for farmers. I
think one of the things that was very interesting about this is putting together two unexpected disciplines in a way. I mean, in lots of ways it was Rowan's stroke of brilliance when he said, how can I put these two things together? Buildings are the things that join it.
It was just, you know, making a connection with someone, you know, and Helen and I discussing from there, and it turned into a collaboration. You know, maybe you have 10 conversations for every one collaboration, but until you open up that dialogue, you've got no idea about what's possible.
So we're really interested in the way that this agritecture might become a new thing for the future, and we're certainly super excited about the possibilities of continuing to work with TIA on projects into the future.